Hey YouTubers, it's Dawn here, and I haven't filmed a YouTube video in quite a while. The summer was busy for me because of course my daughter was married, and so I did post a couple of videos on my YouTube channel about that. But we're beginning the school year, the 2016-2017 school year, and so this will be my first video post since that time. And this year I am teaching 3 preparations rather than 2, and so I'm kind of excited that I'll be teaching the sophomore classes. And in the sophomore class we're reading a novel or a novella by Ayn Rand. It's called Anthem. And in that book, this character, this protagonist named Equality, with a serial number, is given the job by the vocational council as street sweeper. And in this collectivist society, he is not allowed, nor is anyone else in the society allowed, to use the word I. It's the forbidden word. They have to use the word we when they speak. And so it is difficult at first when you're reading the novel to get used to the narration style. But basically what this book is it's an allegory for Ayn Rand's life. She grew up in communist Russia, and she did not like the collectivist philosophy, and she defected to the U.S. when she became an adult, and wrote books about this objectivism philosophy that she had. But anyway, during our studies of this novel, what I did is I created letters from the fictional so-called, Council of Vocations, and I sent a letter to each one of my students giving them a name with a serial number along with a vocation, to show that they weren't in charge of their own destiny, that they were given these names, these serial numbers, and these job descriptions, whether they liked it or not. And so they received the letter, and some of the students, of course, were excited to find out that they were lawyers and judges and so on. Others were not so happy. Some were given the names of joy, justice, liberty. Others received names like misery, despair, and so on. And so we set out to do what was called a Socratic seminar at the end of our unit, where we had an inner circle and an outer circle. And the outer circle they were required to log into a software called Today's Meet. And we used it as a back channel for the students to be able to post responses to the discussion that was going on in the inner circle during the classroom discussion. And so I monitored the back channel to make sure that they were posting appropriate comments. And so then the inner circle of students, they were assigned a certain grouping of chapters to discuss on that particular day. And so when they got into their inner circle, they had their books, and they had to cite passages from the text, and they also were required to have their name tags out with their names that were given to them by the vocational council. And they also were asked to try to speak in the collectivist first person we voice rather than using I. And so it was quite interesting to see how that all played out, and I think that they were able to learn quite a lot from it, and I think they did enjoy this novel. And then at the end, what we ended up doing was we checked out the Ayn Rand Institute online. It's AynRand.org, and discovered that this institute puts on a yearly essay contest about the novel Anthem. And so now the students are writing essays on particular assigned topics to submit for the essay contest. So that finishes out our unit on Anthem. And so I think we've had quite an enjoyable time discussing this book, and so you ought to check it out if you like dystopian type of books that are set in the future. I think you might like it, so check it out.